Coming up, it's time for some rhythm and baroom. This is Merciless Ray Mercer. Last time out, he put his opponent out of the ring. He's put the hurt on former heavyweight champs Witherspoon, Holmes, and Morrison. Took Lennox Lewis the distance, and now Lewis is keeping his distance from Merciless Ray Mercer. This heavyweight is on a mission, so put your paws up and get out of the way. His next opponent, Don, the man of Steele. 43 wins, 43 knockouts. It's the big man on canvas next.
Basketball conference in America over the past 20 years. We're proud to have an association with the ACC. And our broadcasts get underway on December 2nd, where you'll be able to catch the most exciting young players in college basketball when we bring you the ACC Sunday Night Hoops. Duke, Maryland, the preseason number 1 and 2 teams in the nation. North Carolina, Virginia, Wake Forest, Georgia Tech, North Carolina State, Florida State, and Clemson. Teams that have made it a habit to bring thrills all season long into the NCAA tournament. This season's unanimous choice for All-American Jason Williams will lead the defending national champion Duke Blue Devils in what they only hope to be a 3rd consecutive national crown. ACC Sunday Night Hoops. It gets underway December 2nd. Don't miss the opening premier doubleheader. Georgia Tech at North Carolina. It's followed by Clemson against Duke. And it all starts at 6 Eastern right here December 2nd. Our next fight features a guy we've seen many times here on Sunday Night Fights, Ray Mercer. This is a guy that early in his career was very, very good. He kind of hit a bump in the road. But right now, I'm beginning to think maybe an older Ray Mercer is a wiser Ray Mercer.
Well, possibly. He is 39 years old now, Barry, but he had a very good first part of his career, but he did not win the world championship, at least not one of the big 3 anyway. And that's what he's after even now. Questions do remain, of course, when a guy comes back at this stage of his life. Does he still have that world-class power? I think so. Does he still have that incredible chin? I think he probably does. At least he's shown that so far. He still can punch. We saw that when he took out Pegues. He knocked him right out of the ring. So there's still a lot of good things going on about Ray Mercer, and I think he's got his head in the right place, too.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think one of the things that really made him pop out for us, at least in this new, renewed version of Ray Mercer, was when he fought Don Steele. Let's go back and look at that fight. We take you back to Philadelphia, Mississippi. We welcome you back to the casino here in Philadelphia, Mississippi. We're at the Silver Star, hard by the Pearl River, and we come now to our main event, Don Steele and Merciless Ray Mercer. 10 rounds in the heavyweight division. One thing I have to say about Don Steele, he's not been awed about the fact that he's fighting a guy the likes of which he has never fought before. He's very confident. 43 wins, 43 knockouts. Every time he stepped up, though, he's got himself whacked. Those are his only 2 losses. Ray Mercer, on the other hand, a guy who comes in here in good shape. That has not always been true about Ray Mercer. He is in good shape now. He really does seem to be, Rich, a man on a mission.
Well, I think with Ray is he understands what the deal is now. I mean, he's running out of time. I think he knows that. He's getting one more chance, and he's poised to make the most of it.
Yeah, Ray Mercer right now comes off a win over Jeff Pegues. He fights a guy who at least he knows is dangerous enough that he can get him out of there, and that in itself, I think, has got to be pretty good motivation.
Yeah, it is, and I think he's ready to go. This is a real starting point for Ray Mercer. You know, Ray Mercer is 39 years old. He's a guy who's been around the block certainly a time or 2 in with the very best. We were wondering what he's lost. One thing we saw in the fight with Pegues, that the last thing a fighter loses is his punch. There was never a doubt that Merciless Ray Mercer possessed a devastating punch. He displayed that awesome power early in his career against Tommy Morrison, scoring one of the most terrifying knockouts of the decade. In 1996, former world champ Tim Witherspoon tasted Mercer's medicine, ending Spoon's 4-year, 8-bout winning streak. But then Mercer fell out of the boxing circles, contracting hepatitis B and the resulting physical problems associated with the disease. Now questions develop not only about his strength, but whether the former Olympic gold medalist would ever fight again. Last year he decided it was time to find out, training vigorously daily near Atlantic City, New Jersey, working harder than ever. And then came the test. February 11th against Jeff Pegues. Mercer, weighing in at 229, was in his best shape since facing Evander Holyfield in 1995. But was the devastating power still intact at age 39?
I was not nervous. I was more anxious than anything to get that fight behind me and to get on to this point where I'm at now, and I'm more anxious to get to the next point. So at that point, all I wanted to do was knock him out.
Round one began peacefully as Sarge Mercer surveyed the turf and his challenger. But by round two, Mercer was ready to test his knockout power. And then came the punch. There was no doubt, merciless Ray Mercer showed he still had world-class power and relentless determination.
All I want to do is get these fights in, knock these people out, and show people like Dennis Lewis that I'm ready. Show the people that I'm ready. Dennis Lewis knows I'm ready. That's why he don't want to fight.
And now Mercer is on the verge of heading back to the top of the heavyweight ladder once again. And I think Mercer feels at this point that he's going to take the chance and to cash in on every opportunity that he gets here. I know a lot of people asked him, well, why did you hit Pegues that final time? And he said, icily, I give no man a second chance. And, you know, that in the less politically correct days was known as killer instinct. Mercer still got it.
Yeah, I think he does still have it. As a matter of fact, I had a chance to do a lot of his early fights all the way up to his fight with Lennox Lewis, and I don't think he was ever in any better shape than he is right now, to tell you the truth. He's very serious. As you said, he's a man on a mission, and at 39 years old, he knows the clock is ticking. He doesn't have a lot of time on his side, so what he wants to do is be ready to fight every time. No exception tonight. Don Steele says, I'm ready. I'm going to stop Ray Mercer before he ever gets to the big guys. Can he do it? Ray Mercer says, not a chance. We'll be back.
To a special 2000 service, the best of Sunday night fights on Fox Sports Net. Proudly presented by Honda Motorcycles.
We welcome you back to the Silver Star Casino. We are in Philadelphia, Mississippi at the Pearl River Resort. And we come now to our main event. It's in the heavyweight division. Don Steele from Columbia, South Carolina, against merciless Ray Mercer, who is as ready, he says, as he's ever been at any time in his career. But one thing I have to say, Don Steele is not awed by the occasion.
Right, I think he's going to let his hands fly. Figures that's probably his best chance. He's depended on his punch in his career. It's produced 43 KOs and 43 wins for him. So he's going to go out and see if he can't do the same thing to Ray Mercer.
Got a pretty tough hombre in Ray Mercer, though.
Yes, he does. The problem with trying to punch it out with Ray Mercer, Barry, is I thought in the whole decade of the 90s that the best chin in boxing belonged to Ray Mercer. So assuming that his chin has not gone awry at the age of 39, you know, that makes it difficult, I think, to punch with the likes of Mercer.
And I thought he had the best jab in boxing in the 90s, too. So this is a guy that can be the complete package, and you saw his power in his last fight against an overmatched Jeff Pegues.
Mode. Yeah, I love the focus at this point. I know that he is very determined. You know, he's just got his eye on the prize right now, Barry. To him, the prize is once again getting another opportunity with Lennox Lewis.
Well, you know, you learn as you get older, and there were a lot of fighters along the way who have done just that. And I think Ray Mercer very much falls into that category.
Right, and, you know, he's still not too old. Heck, he's a lot younger than George Foreman was when he won the heavyweight title the second time.
A mere pup. Let's take a look at the numbers and see how these two do match up with each other. But you can see this is a fit Ray Mercer who comes in here. Comes in at 233 pounds, 16 pounds less than his opponent, Don Steele. 39 years of age, though. Steele's not a baby either at 31 years of age. Other than that, of course, the experience edge, despite the fact that he doesn't have as many fights, goes to Mercer. Right now to Mike Biro for the introduction.
I've now called him Mike, Mark, and Mike's visit. The Athletic Commission in association with the United Southern and Eastern Tribes and the Mississippi Band of Choctaw Indians at the Silver Star Hotel and Casino at Pearl River Resort. Chief Philip Martin and CEO Doug Pattison in attendance. The chairman of the Miccosukee Athletic Commission is Billy Cypress. The attending executive director is the dandy one, Don Hazelton, and the tribe's executive boxing consultant, also in attendance, Paul Herman. Ladies and gentlemen, America presents in association with the Silver Star Hotel and Casino at Pearl River Resort, presenting the Fight Time on Fox Sports Net main event of the evening, 10 rounds in the heavyweight division. Your referee for this event from Destrehan, Louisiana, the elegant Elmo Adolph. Introducing now the principals first in the red corner to my left, wearing the white trunks, and weighing in at 249.5 pounds with a professional record of 43 victories, 2 defeats, all 43 wins coming by way of knockout. He hails from Columbia, South Carolina, introducing Don, the Man of Steele. Steele. His opponent in the blue corner, wearing the black trunks with the gold trim, he weighs in at 233 pounds. His professional record, 27 victories, 4 defeats, 1 draw, and 19 wins coming by way of knockout. He hails from Atlantic City, New Jersey, the former WBO heavyweight champion of the world, Merciless Ray Mercer. Mercer, 10 rounds, heavyweight.
Right, Dan. Told you what I expect of you out here. Shake hands, come out boxing.
So we are set to go. Don Steele, you got to look at right here. And Ray Mercer. We talk about Ray Mercer being in great shape. Yes, he has a little bit of a girth too, but 2, he's always had that.
Yeah. Again, he's just not one of those really cut kind of guys, but he's in pretty good shape. In fact, I don't even think Ray needed those 13 guys in his corner that he had.
No, that's true.
During the introduction.
Probably could take care of this by himself. Steele, on the other hand, not looking 100% fit. Steele's a guy who has done pretty well in the small pond, and as soon as he tries to get into the ocean, he gets eaten by the sharks.
Right. He took one big step up in class, which was against Brian Nielsen, who had some kind of goofy heavyweight title over in Europe, and he was knocked out by Nielsen. And he was knocked out by Richie Melita. Other than that, he's taking care of everybody he's fought, but very low level, certainly compared to what Mercer has fought, which has been the very best.
You saw that first jab by Mercer actually knocked Steele backwards. That'll give you just an idea of the effectiveness of Mercer's jab. He's got a cannon.
Yeah, it's a tremendous jab. It's kind of like, in terms of its thudding effect, the way that Sonny Liston had a jab on his opponent, but the thing is it's quicker than Liston's was. Liston's was extremely long and looked like a big, gigantic redwood tree coming out when it would hit you, and would have that same kind of effect. But Mercer's jab a little bit quicker.
That's what makes him tough. I think he's going to be tough for anybody in the heavyweight division. And especially, he's just gotten more savvy than he had before. We have the talent. He doesn't always have the mental makeup, but I think he's made a believer out of me. Let me put it that way. There's that jab again, a cracking jab.
I love the interview at the beginning of the night that Sean did with Ray Mercer. It was great. Mercer was going, I'm going to crack Steele. Steele. You can tell he's ready.
It's swelling around the eyes already of Don Steele. That's a direct result of that Ray Mercer jab. There it is again, boy. It's just right on the button, hard.
Yeah, you see what it does? It drives you back. I mean, it eliminates your momentum. And Steele is a puncher, remember, and although he is trying to box, and I think he's got a little bit of style to him, Steele. I know this is probably the first time many of you have seen him. And he looks like he can fight some. He's just not a wild brawler. But the thudding effect that Mercer's jab has is eliminating a chance for him to get started offensively.
Yeah, he's in a defensive mode right from the get-go. You can see he's just going backwards. There it is again.
Mercer reaches you from halfway across the ring with that jab.
Well, not a spectacular round, but I thought just a tremendously effective first round for Ray Mercer.
Well, Ray hasn't gone for the KO in this round. He went out there to try to establish control of the ring, and I think he was able to do that in that round with the jab. Jab alone, basically.
Well, he bloodied his nose, and he got some swelling under his eye, so I'd say it was an effective first round.
There's Don, the man of steel, who is facing an opponent like Mercer really for the first time. And he tries hard, and he tried hard in that first round, we saw it. And all of his fights have ended quickly. He's never been past the 7th round.
That's all the issue. Yeah, everything else.
On the other hand, you have Merciless Ray Mercer across the way, a guy who's got the tremendous power that has been exhibited on numerous occasions. On top of that, he has the other element of being able to take a tremendous shot. And his conditioning, better now than it was when he was fighting a lot of the time in the 90s.
And as we said, at 39 years of age, as we start round 2, Ray Mercer needs to stay on the gas. He's got to take that step up pretty quickly, I think. Sean, we started to ask you earlier how you see this fight. I may as well ask you right now, how do you see this thing?
Well, you know, Steele says that he has as much power as Ray Mercer. He says, I can take a good shot too. But the real problem with this fight is he's going to be swelled up. Look how that jab is so effective from Mercer. Not only is he hitting his opponent hard with that jab, he's spinning it right on the end. That leather on the face just cuts your face to ribbons. Also, to swell it up adds a little bit more force to the power of the punch. This is the big leagues where Ray Mercer is. Mercer knows what he's doing in the ring. Don Steele's still wondering what he's doing in the ring. Right on that eye, too. See, you aim that jab, you bring it right on the eye, and then you twist it right at the point of contact.
The swelling under the left eye of Don Steele getting a little bit worse. Some bleeding from the nose.
Mercer trying to throw the left hook now. He's putting power into his other punches, not just the jab. So he's beginning to open up here and look for something to happen.
And look who's tying up. It's Don Steele. Don Steele came into this fight very confident. Said, I have as much to put on the map with my name as Ray Mercer. He said, I'm hungrier than Ray. That first round, he backed up the entire round. He starts his second round the same way.
You know, the 4 heavyweights we've seen on the card tonight, not counting the 4-rounder that we saw with Adam Richards making his debut. But with Lawrence Claybay and Ken Murphy, and now with Ray Mercer and Steele. It is Steele at the age of 31 who is the baby of the bunch.
That's true.
Well, he better keep his tongue into his mouth. See how Steele keeps licking his lips? You can't do that.
You know, you could literally tie Ray Mercer's right hand behind him tonight, and he could win this fight with the jab alone.
Absolutely. And he is. So far.
Sure could, but I know he wants to unload that right hand.
He does. You can almost hear the clock ticking. I mean, this is just a matter of time.
And I hope he knocks him out soon, because I don't want to take that much of a beating. The more punches he takes. Look at him taking these shots. Steele hands down around his face. Hide behind those gloves. The old trainers tell their fighters, put your gloves in front of your eyebrows. Touch the eyebrows to your knuckles. That way you'll know your hands are high enough. Let's see that from Steele. He's not hiding behind his gloves.
Steele, for some reason, felt compelled to also hit himself with a great combination.
That's right. His first good combination of the fight, I might add. And he's starting to get busted up, too. Don Steele unable to generate any offense, and I think that's due in large part to the jab of Ray Mercer just not allowing him to get on track, period.
When Ray Mercer lost some important fights when he was coming up, a lot of it was due to his inability to get really psyched. Therefore, he wouldn't get in real great shape for them, like that Jesse Ferguson fight. Or at a time, for example, when he fought Larry Holmes, he just wasn't ready. And Holmes schooled him in that fight, and he knew it.
Shutout, of course, for Mercer. And hard to imagine anybody seeing that any way but that.
Yeah, the problem in sports, well, in boxing especially, Rich, is it takes you years to learn how to do this thing called boxing. When you finally realize what works and what doesn't work, you're 39 years old. That's the problem that Ray Mercer has now. And Ray is in a hurry to get back to the top of boxing.
You know, the inactivity that Mercer has had in recent years could actually, here in the long run, help him. It could be a positive, because he hasn't been, for example, like Evander Holyfield and all of these wars, a countless number of wars that Holyfield had finally just completely taken their toll on his body, and he just can't fight the way that he used to anymore. Mercer is, fairly fresh. He did have a war with Lennox Lewis and a war with Evander Holyfield, but far less than, you would expect a guy of his age in the heavyweight ranks to have had by now.
Absolutely.
I think Steele's fight plan tonight is try to break Mercer's hands on his face.
Yeah, it's a good concept.
Taking all the punches, just not even rolling with them.
The other thing about Steele, and you guys, maybe I'm seeing things here, but he's the only heavyweight fighter I've ever seen with a navel ring.
He gets hit in the body right on that navel ring. It could disappear.
Yeah.
Well, for Mercer too, now he's got to close the show. Let's see those fast, hard combinations. See him close the show with Steele. Don tried to convince me today that he takes a good shot. I believe it, Don.
It's the first time Steele got off kind of a good combination on Mercer. It was a doubled up with the left and got the right in there, and it was more, he followed up his elbow from the punch.
All those misses from Steele. Mercer doing a fine job. Look at Mercer's hands and compare that to Steele's hands. Steele's hands also down around his waist in front of his chest. I guess he's protecting his neck.
There's a left hand stagger Steele. And all he did was show jab and turn it.
Steele trying to show Mercer he could take his punch, so he threw in a couple of his own to himself.
Taking a real beating here is Steele, though.
I guess this is the definite definition of the phrase bloodied but unbound.
Mercer, there's a good right hand by Mercer. And Steele ducked right into that right hand.
And Ray Mercer, early in his career, as you take a look, was very active. But with this being his second fight in the year 2001, before that, only 2 fights in the previous 4 years actually.
Well, Ray Mercer feels like he's refreshed. He feels like he's a new man. He feels like he still has a very good chance. And based on what we've seen tonight, he certainly still has the skills to be a champion.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready. Physically and mentally more than anything now. I get up and run. I don't care what time I wake up, man. I just want to run. I look forward. I ran this morning. I just love running now. Something that I used to not like doing so much. I love doing now. And it's bringing the new crew that I have is bringing all the fun back in the sport and everything for me, man. I'm living life right now.
Well, he's had several incarnations, and I think this one, though, seems to be more honest than all the others.
And it's hard not to root for Ray Mercer because he is such a likable guy. And he is funny, and he can come out with good quips. And
he's a good guy and would be an excellent champion. Steele now swelling under both eyes, bleeding from the nose.
I asked him why he felt that he could do so good against Lennox Lewis when so many others just simply cannot. And he felt that it was his ability to reach Lewis with his jab, to be able to jab with Lewis. People can't jab with Lewis for the most part.
Mercer looks intent on finishing this.
Well, he lives up to his nickname, Barry. He is merciless when he has an opportunity.
The jab again continues to drive Steele backward.
Steele trying to show some head movement in this round.
Again, Steele hangs himself a couple of times in the stomach. Almost like a wake-up call, but Mercer just doesn't give you an opportunity. Let's go to Sean O'Grady. Sean, where are you?
Hey, I'm over here in Steele's corner, Barry Rich. I'm with Bobby Mitchell. Bobby, is Don okay?
Yeah, Don's all right. He swells easy and he bleeds a lot, but he's all right. You know, what he needs to do to turn the fight around, I think, is he's got to quit backing up and showing so much respect. He's got to let his hands go. You know, he's just a little nervous and everything, but he's doing good.
You know, he told me he has as much power as Ray Mercer, but he can't utilize it backing up. What did you tell him to do this round?
To stop backing up and to let his hands go. To come over the top of Ray's jab with his right hand, and he hadn't done that yet.
All right, we're inside a minute. What are you going to tell him at the end of this round?
Well, the same thing. Basically, it's just to quit backing up, that he needs to stand the fight now. You know, we're into the middle rounds. You know, he needs to put on a fight now.
Bobby Mitchell knows what to do. Get him going forward. Back to you.
Always seems easy for the guy in the corner to say, doesn't it?
Well, the problem with trying to counter with a right hand over the jab is you've got to make the jab miss or fall short. And so far, that's not happening.
Not at all.
Look at that.
Yeah, a tremendous connect percentage for Mercer on the jab. And I'm sure he's going backward because every one of those jabs, if it doesn't hurt it, at the very least it stings. You know, some fighters just kind of show you the jab. I mean, Ray Mercer snaps the jab. Sean talked about pronating a jab. And Mercer does that. It's an effective weapon, and it'll wear a guy down. We're coming back. It's been a very lopsided fight in the favor of Ray Mercer as we begin round 5. Don Steele really unable to do any business. I know his corner wants him to stand there and fight, but that's easier said than done.
And I think that's what Don had in mind coming in here. I think he wanted probably to stand and let his hands fly and let Mercer feel his power, but he just can't. He's being driven backwards every time by that jab. He doesn't have a jab to make Mercer think twice about moving in. So he can't get his power shots off.
And every now and then, Mercer will turn that jab into a hook, and that's been very effective for him also. And your card, a shutout. Not a surprise.
What I want to see here is if Mercer, picks it up and looks for a KO. He started to let his hands go in that last round. Or if Ray is satisfied to simply jab his way to victory by decision.
I would doubt that. I would think at some point he'll step on it. Starting to bring the right hand a little bit more frequently. Clearly, Ray Mercer is ready to take at least that next step up. Whether or not that's of the Lennox Lewis caliber or not, I don't know, but he's ready to take the next step.
Mercer with an old Jersey Joe Walcott trick there. As he walked away from his opponent and then sprung out like a cobra with a left hook.
Double jab and then a miss with the right hand by Steele. I'm not sure Donald Steele is going to like the look that he sees in the mirror tomorrow morning.
You know, he is trying, Barry. He can't get off.
Absolutely.
Every time he wants to throw a punch, there's that jab of his driving him back. Mercer getting into it now.
And Mercer starting to walk through Steele. Jab just really making a mess of Steele's face, and Steele goes out of the ring, down onto the floor, and it was from a body shot.
This is the second straight time that Ray Mercer has knocked a man out by knocking him completely out of the ring.
And I mean out of the ring. He went over the table, over the chairs, and out. And it was from a body shot.
Wow. Well, I tell you, Ray Mercer's making all the highlight reels in his comeback.
Well, that was a huge shot.
There's a ringsider jumped on Steele there, and they had to pull the guy off.
Yeah, I'm assuming that it was not a doctor, just somebody there. Let's take another look at this, Rich, and see if it was in fact a body shot. Looked like it to me.
All right, we'll take a look now. Still Ray probing with the jab, then the right hand to the body. I don't remember him throwing that punch in this fight, Barry. And he knocked him right out of the ring. I'm sure Jimmy Lennon, when he sees that, will be glad that he wasn't here tonight.
That's right.
Because he got sat on the last time by Jeff Pegues. Now watch this ringsider come and jump right on top.
Yeah, he did. I'm not quite sure what that was
Steele.
all about. When I first saw it, I thought maybe he was a doctor or something. But
Right hand to the body. Now let's take a look by comparison. Same set of ropes, same situation. There's the guy jumping on top. Now here's the fight against Pegues. This is just a month ago. Same side of the ring. This time with a head punch though. Winds up, bam. And there goes Pegues out of the ring, right onto Jimmy Lennon Jr. this time, knocking Jimmy down. Although Pegues at least managed to stay on the apron pretty much.
well, that was a pretty impressive punch, I'll say that. And Steele does appear to be okay. He got a real knot over his right eye, though, doesn't he? We'll come back. We'll talk to the winner. We'll make it all official right after this.
Every second.
Conclusion to that fight as we take it to the center of the ring. Mark Barrow to make it official.
Time officially 3 minutes of the 5th round. The winner by knockout, Merciless Ray Mercer.
Well, an impressive performance for Ray Mercer. There is a look at another champion. And we go to the center of the ring. Sean O'Grady right now with Ray Mercer. Sean?
Thanks, guys. Ray Mercer. Let's get Dad in here, too. Ray Sr. Hey, Ray Mercer, it seems like everybody you fight, you knock him out of the ring. What happens?
I don't know. They just seem to be on that side, and God is on my side, man.
Yeah.
And that's the luck of the Irish.
It had to be tonight. You know what? And you kind of turned it up a notch in that round. What did you see?
Nothing. I just knew that he was in there for the long haul, and I got a chance to work on some of the things I wanted to work on in the first fight. And I got a chance to show people that I really can box, and I can do anything.
You were really busting him up. In fact, as we take a look at some of the action, I want you to tell me what was happening. You were spinning your hands at the end, really trying to crank him up. What were you thinking about?
Well, it was time to get him out of there because he had a hard head, and I think I had enough work. And, I hurt my hand a little bit hitting him. He got a hard head. I was hitting him on top of the head with the jab and then the nose. His nose got to be broke. I think the jab is the key to everything, man. I throw the jab and everything comes off the jab. And then I seen he was getting weaker as I hit him with the hook. He seemed like he was slowing down. That jab was slowing him down. He wasn't throwing as many punches, so I wanted to get him out of there.
You know, he came into this fight saying that he has as much power and as much strength as Ray Mercer. Was he very powerful? Did he ever hurt you?
No, he didn't hurt me. I was a little frightened when he fell out the ring. That's about the only thing.
What does this fight do for you? You're back, you're back in spectacular fashion once again. What does this fight put you now?
I'm ready for anything, man. I was out there, I was having fun. I'm having fun now. I'm ready, man. I'm ready for the big boys.
Yeah, who do you want next?
I want Lennox Lewis. Guys like this I can walk through. I got in there and I worked on the guys. I want Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson. I want the real fighters. Let's give the people what they really want.
All right, that's it. You hear it from Ray Mercer. He says to the heavyweights, line up and sign up. Back to you guys.
Well, I'd be in favor of that. I'd like to see him in there with any of those champions. Certainly with Klitschko or John Ruiz and Lennox Lewis rematch. Heck, their first fight was a great fight. Why not number 2?
That's right. I think he's competitive with any one of those guys that you mentioned. Ray Mercer, I believe, is more than back. I think he's better than he's ever been. We're coming back. Equate to doing well when you just have to use your fists. Just ask Ray Sefo. He got into the ring not long ago against